So when I was fired the last time from this show, say to me, were you okay with that? And my answer is, I was happy.
Democrats in the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
I think she's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
It was a jaw-dropping moment on daytime television. The View co-host Joy Behar, known for her fiery and outspoken personality, was stopped at the airport while allegedly trying to leave the country. Why? Because of a shocking $50 million lawsuit. That could destroy her career. The drama is unfolding fast, and the details are even more bizarre than you might imagine. Did Joy really try to dodge the law? Is her career finished for good? A wild twist is coming in this story, so stay tuned. The whole saga started with a single comment that rocked the entertainment world. Joy Behar made a highly controversial statement about Karoline Leavitt, the newly appointed White House press secretary, during a heated exchange on The View.
Objectifying the White House press secretary, saying she only has the job because she's hot.
In an incident that would haunt her for the rest of her life, Behar dismissed Leavitt's qualifications, suggesting that her looks were the sole reason for her hiring.
She's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on looks?
They really don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt was.
The backlash was swift and intense. A social media storm erupted, with thousands demanding accountability. In their posts, journalists, political analysts, and even former colleagues called Behar's comment one of the most reckless she had ever made.
Karoline Leavitt, she's just 27 years old. But boy, was she giving it to the Trump haters in her first White House briefing.
They really don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt was picked for the role.
Behar had spent years advocating for women's rights and empowerment, but in one careless moment, she completely betrayed her own principles. It didn't take long for the controversy to move beyond social media. Primetime anchors from major news networks scrutinized Behar's comments and debated whether she had crossed the line for good.
Okay, and why are the meltdowns always in cars? Now to the cackling witch herself, Joy Behar from The View, whose jealousy is something to behold. Here is her assessment of Trump's new White House press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
I think she's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
The ever-empowering feminist, Joy herself, everyone. And this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Karoline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees anytime.
She was publicly condemned by leading female politicians and activists who argued that comments like hers set back the progress of women in leadership roles. Due to the overwhelming criticism, advertisers began pulling their support from The View, forcing ABC into damage control mode. Behar's assumption that the backlash would fade in a few days proved to be completely wrong. As she tried to justify her comments, the public's demand for an apology only intensified. Petitions quickly amassed hundreds of thousands of signatures calling for her immediate removal from the show. This wasn't just another TV spat. It was a full-scale PR disaster threatening to ruin her career permanently. Karoline Leavitt wasn't going to stand for this. Instead of merely responding, she filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit against Joy Behar, going straight for the heart of the issue.
Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists, but they have been wrong about everything. These women are completely out of touch with reality, and you're right, ABC should...
Behar was accused in the case of deliberately making false and harmful statements to tarnish Leavitt's reputation in her professional life. Legal experts quickly weighed in, predicting that this would become one of the most expensive lawsuits in the history of daytime TV. Aside from the financial disaster, Behar faced a level of public disgrace that would be unlike anything she had ever experienced if she lost. Reports revealed that ABC officials were in a panic, scrambling to minimize the fallout. The network's highest executives held emergency meetings behind closed doors to decide if Behar had become too much of a risk to stay on the show. As the pressure mounted, Joy Behar took a shocking step. Realizing the situation was spiraling, Out of control as the court case dragged on, she allegedly grew increasingly paranoid, fearing public disgrace and financial ruin, according to sources close to her. As the legal and public scrutiny intensified, Behar reportedly began to feel cornered, with no way out of the mess she had created. In response, she supposedly hatched a plan to leave the country to escape the mounting legal consequences and the growing public backlash. In a last-ditch effort to avoid the looming financial collapse and potential prison time, Behar reportedly bought a one-way ticket to Italy, her ancestral homeland, thinking that fleeing the country would provide some form of safety. However, she didn't expect that federal authorities were already on her trail, tracking her every move. In front of stunned onlookers, Behar was arrested after TSA and law enforcement agents stopped her at the airport as she attempted to board her flight. Chaos erupted at the airport, with some passengers even filming the scene, capturing the moment Behar was escorted away in handcuffs. Later, security officials confirmed that she was arrested on suspicion of trying to evade legal consequences. Footage of her arrest quickly went viral, sending social media into a frenzy. With Behar's shocking arrest making international headlines, ABC was forced to distance itself from the incident immediately, scrambling to manage the fallout from the unprecedented event.
No, it's not. So first of all, and I have had my objections to the job that Karine Jean-Pierre did, but she worked in politics for 21 years, 5 presidential campaigns.
An official statement confirming Joy Behar's departure from the network was released within hours. Celebrities, journalists, and political commentators were divided over the decision, which shook Hollywood. Supporters of Behar argued that she was a victim of overblown cancel culture, while others insisted that she was rightly held accountable for her reckless comments. Meanwhile, The View was in turmoil. The show's producers were unsure how to fill the gap left by one of the biggest names in daytime television, scrambling to find a replacement for Behar.
Like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job. Maybe. But my point is that job would not maybe have been open to her.
No, I understand. I just
without
wanted
us.
to clarify that.
Yeah.
The scandal also ignited intense discussions about whether The View could survive after such. A massive controversy. With Joy Behar now facing significant legal challenges, the question remains, what's next for the former co-host? Will she be able to clear her name and restore her reputation?
It was bizarre, especially coming from Joy Behar, who is as woke as they come and positions herself as a champion of feminism. This online commentator said, disgusting Joy Behar of The View accuses Karoline Leavitt of being hired only because Donald Trump thought she was a 10. Caroline Leavitt actually comes with real job qualifications, unlike Biden's DEI hires Joyless Behar. This commentator doubled down, saying Caroline Leavitt was only hired by Donald Trump because she's a 10. We know that, what it is. Actually, she's quite capable, unlike the last press secretary who was only hired because she was...
Or will this scandal signal the irreversible end of her career? And what about Karoline Leavitt? Her decision to sue Behar has thrust her into the national limelight.